All right, we are going to get started. So, welcome to day 2 of the 30-day challenge to magically reduce stress while having fun. My name is Casey Fight, and I'm so glad we are here for our second session. So, let's just take a moment to settle in. Sitting in your chair, find a comfortable seat, both feet flat on the ground, and just sitting up nice and tall. And I invite you to just take a moment to kind of let go of some of the wiggles. Let go of the morning or the day or the evening or whatever it took for you to get here, and begin to settle in. Sometimes it takes a few minutes to really be present in the moment. Kind of an oxymoron there, right? A few minutes to be in the moment. But as I continue to share, we're so busy living in the past and in the future, and just really being in the present moment takes quite a bit of effort. So I encourage you to find both feet flat on the ground. I'm going to scoot back here a little bit and just get comfortable in your seat. If you're leaning back, that's great. Just try to have your shoulders over your hips. If you're sitting forward a little bit, that works as well. And just begin to tune into the breath. So on our first day, we practiced just breath awareness. As a mindfulness practice, we practiced the Ujjayi breath, which is our most common breath that we'll do in our yoga practice. We'll do another one today as well, but I encourage you to start with that one. So just nice, long, deep breaths in and out through the torso. In and out through the nose. Just beginning to get more grounded in the present moment. So this first week, we are talking about being grounded. Yesterday, day 1 was getting grounded in our seat. Today, we continue to build upon that, getting grounded in the presence of this moment. Just following that breath in and out. And the most stressful thing that we can do is not be present in the moment. And so stress reduction or relief is really being here now. And that's a form of acceptance. Whether we like what's happening here now is different from accepting what is in the present moment. So maybe you just woke up and you're feeling a little groggy. Maybe you've had a hard day already when you're watching this, and there's just so much stuff going on. Really taking the time to be grounded and present. So take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Deep breath in and a deep breath out. So today we're going to start with some yoga poses to begin with. And this entire first 7 days will all be seated yoga poses. So the first one we're going to do, actually we're going to do 2 together at the same time, which is cat and cow. And so if you think about, visualize what a cow looks like and what a cat looks like. The cow has that belly, at least the female cows, for nursing their little ones, and it really kind of hangs down in the front. And then our cat can get that really high rounded back when they're stretching or they're on high alert. So wherever you are in your seat, if you can, come forward a little bit, so you've got some space between you and the back of your chair, and then just place your hands on your knees. And so as we inhale, we're opening the heart. We're going to practice our cow. So we're going to inhale, lift the chest, draw that belly forward and chin up to the sky, look up into our cow. As we exhale, we curl in, we round our backs, we tuck our chin into our chest and stretch and round into our cat. And so we inhale, come forward into our cow. We exhale, curl back into our cat. And so if you have kids with you, or if you like to be like a kid in a childlike fun way, you can make the sounds as we move here. So I love teaching the kids, and we moo into our cow, and then we round our backs and we meow into our cat. There's a couple funny different memes or cartoons, I should say, where there are these monks sitting and meditating, and they're near a pasture with cows, and the cows are mooing, and the monks are like, oh, they've got it backwards. They should be oming. I think it's really hilarious. I'll see if I can find it and share it in the comments here. So this seated cat-cow, oh, it feels so good on the spine. We're just rounding the spine in both directions, forward and back. And so we're also going to do a circling of the hips. So this is kind of moving through cat-cow. So we're going to inhale, come forward into our cow, go around to your right, circle back into your cat, come around to the left, inhale forward into cow, exhale as you circle back around, inhale as you come forward. So these are sometimes called Kundalini circles. We won't go into too much depth, but the Kundalini is at the base of the spine, waking up, coming up to the third eye, the forehead. So Kundalini circles feels nice and good as you come forward on your next inhale. Come back around, exhale to the left, inhale to the front and center, exhale back and around to the left. Feels good, really nice, waking up the spine. So for our cat-cows, we were moving forward and back, and now we are moving in the sideways directions. In yoga, we say the side of the body is the bridge to the soul. So keep moving around. Oh, doesn't that feel good? It feels good to me. Breathing in and out of the nose. Coming back to center. Sitting up nice and tall. So for our next yoga pose, again, this is almost a two for one. We're doing 2 poses or 4 poses. We're going to take our right leg and cross our ankle at our knee. Let's go back a little bit more. So we want to flex that foot. That foot is flexed and it's just right at the knee. Depending on your flexibility, your knee might be up high. That's okay. It might be down a little bit lower. And just sitting up nice and tall. So many of us spend so much time sitting at our desks, at our computers, in front of our screens, and our hips can get tight. So while you're here, we're just starting to open up the hips. So I like to call this the figure 4. Most of the yoga poses that we'll do in this series, they can be seated, they can be sitting on the ground, or they can be lying on the ground. So you're going to see a couple different variations of this pose. So one of my favorites, because we're stretching out our sciatic area. Anybody got sciatic pain, back pain? Most people who've had children experience some of that pain, right? Carrying kids around, they are heavy. And sitting all day, which most of us do, is not the best for our bodies. So here we are in our figure 4 on the right side, or whichever side you picked. Now we're going to fold forward. So you're just going to literally come forward. If you're a bit tight, you might look like this. That's great. If you're a little bit more flexible, you might look like this. That's great. So we're going to just hang over. I know you're not looking at the back of my head because you're folded forward too. So just hanging here. Now really bring in that breath. Take a nice deep breath in. Deep breath out. That victorious Ujjayi breath is breathing into the present moments. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. 2 more breaths here. Breathing in. Breathing out, feeling the back of the body stretching. Last breath here. And slowly coming up. So when we really focus on the breath in the pose, release that leg, shake it out. When you focus on the breath in that pose, the muscles actually relax. That's how we reduce stress and let it go. Now we're going to take the left foot or the opposite foot up. Again, the foot is flexed here as if you were standing on the ground or putting your foot stamp on the side wall. Again, that knee might be up or down. It's all good, whatever feels what you feel, what's showing up in the moment. Again, there's no right or wrong in yoga. There's simply your body, your breath, and what is. And we just breathe into that. So you might notice this side is a little bit easier, a little bit harder. Maybe it's the same. Just breathe into it. Let those thighs be. Let's breathe together. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Deep breath in and a deep breath out. 2 more breaths here. Now we're going to forward fold. So we want to keep that foot flexing. Just let that knee be wherever it is. Gently start to fold forward over your legs. Arms come down, head comes down. Let the chin just tuck into the chest, heavy head, and breathe here. We're forward folding in our figure 4. So much great chair yoga that you can do. I do recommend getting off the chair onto the floor and ground, but these are great options for when you are just needing a 5 or 10 minute break during the day. Keep breathing in and out of the nose. Notice if the mind wanders off to somewhere else, just bring it back. It's literally a skill that we build and develop. It's not something that comes naturally. Even after doing it many, many years, we can be so distracted. Live in a distraction-based society, so we have to keep coming back to the present moment. And maybe during these practices, just coming back to my words brings you to the moment to breathe. 2 more breaths here. Slowly begin to roll back up. Coming up, release that leg out. Shake it out a little bit. Let's just shake that body out a little bit. And then just find your comfortable seat. So if you want, you can scoot back into the back of your chair, maybe move it forward a bit. So that was our 3/2/4. I like to play with numbers. Yoga poses for the day today. So now what we're going to do is we're going to move into a body scan. This is going to be our first specific mindfulness practice for today is scanning the body. As I've mentioned, we live in our minds a lot, our brains. We don't necessarily live in our bodies as often. And a body scan is a really great way to tap into the intelligence of our body, to check in, to see what it's feeling. Often we know when we need to use the restroom. Sometimes we know when we're thirsty or we need to eat. Sometimes we can get so focused that we forget to do many of those things, right? So when we're able to be more in touch with our body and scan the body, then we're like, oh, my body is telling me to get up and stretch right now. Or, oh, my body is telling me I need to get some water. Did you know that most people are actually thirsty when they think they're hungry? That's part of our obesity problem in our world right now, is that we eat, and it's usually not from hunger. It's from thirst, or it's from trying to fill a need that is probably emotional, right? So when we scan our bodies, we can actually hear and listen and be in tune with our body's needs. So I'm going to encourage you to close your eyes, just to take a nice deep breath in and a deep breath out. And if it feels good for you to just simply breathe out the mouth, to exhale, to let go, feel free to do that. Otherwise, we want to focus on mostly breathing in and out of the nose. cleansing the air that comes and goes. And so, as I begin to guide you through this body scan, I'm going to ask you to just focus on the parts of the body. And as I name them, just draw your attention to them, your awareness, your breath. And if you feel tension in that part of the body, which we often feel in our shoulders, they can be hiked up by your ears, just relax them. Just ask your body to let go. So you're using your mind to ask your body to release tension. That's that ultimate mind-body connection. We'll take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Begin to bring your awareness to your feet, placing them flat on the floor, or if you're sitting with the legs crossed, just become aware of the feet. Start to wiggle the toes. Bring your awareness to the soles of your feet. Your soles are connected to the earth most of the time. The balls of the feet, the arches, the heels. Begin to bring your awareness to the tops of the feet. Moving your awareness to your ankles. Notice how the ankles move, maybe even move them. How many different directions do your ankles move? They circulate clockwise, counterclockwise. They can point and flex. They can move laterally. Breathe into the feet and the ankles and start to bring your awareness up the shins and the calves, up to the knees. The knees are surprisingly a really sensitive joint in a way that they can get injured as they mostly extend and flex. They don't necessarily move in and out very well or rotate. So alignment of our body is important to keep those knees strong because they help to hold us up with the legs. And begin to bring your awareness to the large muscles above the knees, the upper thighs. We have the quadriceps, the top. There's 4 large muscles and insertion points here. And then the back of the legs, the hamstrings, which are tight for 100% of the people. That's their function. And your inner and outer thighs. So together, this area makes up the largest muscles in our body. Breathe into them. Nice deep breath in. Nice deep breath out. And then begin to move your awareness to your seat. You actually have a pelvic bowl. It's shaped like a bowl that holds all of your vital organs in it. Not all of them, a lot of them. The reproductive ones, the digestion, elimination. The bowl is holding that torso together, connecting the sacrum at the lower back to the spine that moves upwards. And just bring your awareness to your hips as far as the hip joint. This is our first ball and socket joint of our scan today. And much like the ankles, but with even more mobility, our hips circulate counter and counterclockwise, clockwise and counter. They flex and extend, they rotate, they abduct and adduct, which means go out and in. So lots of movement in our hips here. It's important that we keep that hip joint, those hip joints lubricated. So sitting all day, they get kind of stuck in one position. We want to lubricate those hips by stretching them, by moving in different positions throughout the day. And we're going to move up our torso, up to our lower abdominals, our mid-abdominal region where that belly button is. The floating ribs are here, our diaphragm, that lower back, the vertebrae. Continuing to move up the spine to the middle back, to the attached ribs, to the lower sternum. Moving up the torso to the chest, the heart and the lungs held in the rib cage, into that upper back area, the shoulder blades. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Starting to move your awareness to the tops of the shoulders, to that shoulder socket, which literally is, again, a ball and joint socket. It moves and rotates all the directions of the hips, so clockwise, counterclockwise. Rolling up and down is a nice movement to do here in our chairs. Rolling the shoulders up, back, and around. Just release that tension. Throughout the day, I encourage this, and just again to check in if you're hunched forward, if you can squeeze a pencil between your shoulder blades. When you do that, you're activating your rhomboids, very strong muscles in the back here. Lifting that heart so that heart is open. And let's take a deep breath in and a deep breath out, moving our body scan down our arms. Most people know the biceps and triceps, the upper arms, those muscles. Moving to the elbows, down to the forearms. And a fun fact that you may or may not know is the two bones in our forearms between the elbows and the joint actually are the only bones that cross over each other in the body attached to the same joint. So if you move from the palms up to the palms down, vice versa, those bones are crossing at the joints or between the joints. And bring your awareness to your wrists. Circle those wrists. Much like the ankles, they move laterally, flex and extend, clockwise and counterclockwise. So many people get frozen wrist syndrome or carpal tunnel from typing and mousing all day. Stretch out those fingers. And then we're going to move our body scan and awareness to our neck, the throat, the front, back, and the throat. A lot of our tension is held here between the shoulders and the neck and the mind and the brain and the head. And maybe even some movements here, circling the head and neck, turning it side to side. We'll do that in some of our yoga poses and more specifically in the days ahead. And then begin to move your awareness up the sides of the head, the ears, the back of the head to the crown of the head. Feel the crown of the head reaching up towards the sky. And bring your awareness to the face, the forehead, the temples. Starting to move down the face, the bridge of the nose, the cheekbones, to the lips, the mouth, the jaw, the chin. Take that jaw, that chin side to side. Now up and down. And you may be in the privacy of your home without anyone seeing this, but we're going to make some silly faces with our mouth. I believe this is what keeps your face wrinkle free or wrinkle reduced. So open your mouth really wide. Move your chin around, scrunch up your face like a bunny, your eyes, and just move it all over the place. I'm going to stop talking for a moment to do that myself. It's hard to do while you're talking. It might look silly, but who cares? Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out into your entire body. So that body scan was probably about 6 or 7 minutes. You can do it in a shorter time period or longer, but just check in. How is your body feeling? Does it feel a little more relaxed than you did before? Just notice for yourself, how does it feel? And then we're going to move on to our breath for today, and then we'll finish with our second mindfulness practice. So I wanted to do the breath first because it ties into this work we just did around the face. It's called the lion's breath. I'm a Leo. It's one of my favorite breathing techniques. It's actually an adult yoga breathing technique, but of course I do it with the kids and they love it. So you're going to place your hands just on your thighs. This can be seated. Traditionally, you're sitting on the floor, kneeling, and sitting on your seat, on your heels. But seated is great. We're going to take our eyeballs and try to look up at the top of our brain. And we're going to stick our tongue out like we're trying to lick our chin. And so the breath work part of this is we breathe in through the nose and we breathe out the mouth. So we're not roaring, although kids, you guys can roar after you do 3 lion's breath, but we're going to make a sound, like a big yawn or a big release. So let's do it together. Ready? Take a deep breath in. And kind of lean forward a bit. Inhale. Exhale. One more time. So I like to think of this, it makes me laugh every time, that it's letting go of the yuckies, right? We're releasing the stress, we're exhaling out, letting go of anything that doesn't serve us. So this is a great one. My daughter used to laugh at me. I would do this when I was in traffic, pre-pandemic, years ago. I'm driving across town, traffic's horrible. Actually, it's kind of horrible now again. But I would get just stressed out driving in the car. So I would do some lion's breath. She's like, Mom, people are looking. I'm like, I don't care. Just let it out. Just release it. Looking up. I usually keep my eyes on the road. I don't look at my brain during that one, but I stick my tongue out. So wrapping up here, our last mindfulness practice that we are going to do is gratitude. And gratitude is actually my word of the year. Every year I like to pick a word. And gratitude is so powerful. And I was just sharing this with a group the other day. So for our gratitude practice, we want to pick something very specific or say specific things when we're grateful. So many of us say, and this is really common with kids again, like, oh, I'm grateful for my home or my parents, or I'm grateful for food or shelter or these things, which so many of us are grateful for, and those are really wonderful. But I challenge you to pick something, to say something that you're grateful for that's very specific. And you could have a lot of them. So for example, right now I'm using this wide angle camera that I'm borrowing from a minister friend of mine that we're using for our class, and I'm trying it out. And I'm so grateful that she trusted me and allowed me to take this home and use this and check it out. So it's a very specific thing about a specific person that I appreciate, an object, a moment, something that is serving me. So I'm very grateful for that. I'm also very grateful for my sister who gave me some wonderful feedback yesterday. So again, very specific things. And when we're appreciative or grateful for something very specific, maybe I'm grateful that I like this toothpaste that I use. It's much more meaningful. Of course, I'm grateful for shelter and my family and friends and food, but it's just kind of vague, and the brain doesn't really process vague as well. It's just kind of nebulous, right? But when I just say specifically things that I'm grateful for that are really relevant to myself, to people in my life, to situations, it's really powerful. So that's our second mindfulness practice for the day. I encourage you that is your takeaway today, is to practice gratitude in a way that's very specific. I'm very grateful for so many things. Here's another thing. One of my favorite little toys is my magic wand. I'm very grateful for the glitter, for seeing the magic in the moments. And it's things like this that's also a great breathing technique that get me to slow down, to be grateful, to be mindful in each and every moment. So I want to thank you so much for joining me on this challenge. I appreciate you. I feel like we packed a lot in this half an hour. I hope that you practice many of these things often. Have a wonderful day. Namaste and play. Yay.